Alright guys, so I got everything installed now, radio wise, to make the system sound better. And what I mean by that is, if you're looking at this video, then you probably got a charger and you're wondering why it sounds so terrible. I mean, I guess it depends on the sound that you're looking for, where you need more. You're putting subwoofers in, you definitely need more power, you need more control over what your door speakers sound like, what your dash sounds like, and how much control you got over the music that you're listening to. Because if you try to keep the factory system in and run some subwoofers, it's not going to work out well for your sound, or you won't be able to turn your subs up at least to where you want them to be, and you're just not going to get that sound that you want. So in my other video, you saw I had my whole dash and everything was taken apart. I did the 4.3 to 8.4 swap, and like I said in the other video, it was basically plug and play. I got all the parts, I did a bunch of research, and I had really no issues connecting everything. Like I said, the guy that I bought the bezel from, as you can see the bezel is in, the screen, the RB5 is behind here, and then I had to buy this, the one with the auto switch on it, because that's the only way that it's gonna actually really read the new RB5 radio. If you don't have the RB5, then you don't have the auto switch on here. Now, the auto switch doesn't work because, you know, that sensor isn't installed in here. There are ways to do it, but I don't need it. My biggest issue was to make sure that where it says the temperature, that didn't always say 22 degrees, and I'm not having that problem. As you can see, my navigation works just fine after I installed that sensor in. It was basically, I bought one from eBay, plugged it in, it started reading the satellites. I went and drove around, and it started working. Now, what I did have to do is, I did have to take the radio out a couple of times, and that's only because initially, I wanted to make sure that the system that I bought, the 8.4 system that I purchased, was going to work first. After I confirmed that, I took everything back out, and then I installed an inline amp behind my radio. So behind here, and then behind my RB5, there is an amplifier. Here's the amp that's back there. It's a little big, but not really. It's small in comparison to what you get. And so if you go this route, basically, what you want to make sure you do is, if you run the inline amp behind the radio, you're going to want to make sure you purchase some speed wire. And what that will do is, it'll allow you to extend the wires that you're going to cut into on your factory system, and then allow you to store that amp so that you can fit your RB5 back in there, and then put your, your climate switch back on. So don't forget that. Just buy you a little bit of speed wire. You probably add maybe 6 to 8 inches, just to make sure that you can tuck that amplifier behind there so that you get better sound. Another thing is, it's only 45 times 4, right? So I only had a 6-speaker system. So my tweeters, my super tweeters, are still running off of the factory system. I may change that at some point, but I'm getting really great sound out of them. So I really don't feel a whole need to. Even with my subwoofers going, it gets pretty loud. And then I switched over to the DSP 6x9s, the loudspeakers. So I'm getting really good sound. Keep in mind that the issue you're probably going to run into a little bit later is making sure that that amplifier is adjusted properly. So what I ended up doing was, once I was able to figure out that I could install the inline amp, is I just put it in. I installed everything, I turned the radio on, and then I was getting feedback. The feedback was coming from the amplifier being turned up too much. I had left it halfway on the left and right channels, or the rear and the front channels, and it was just up halfway. I figured, you know, I could always adjust it, and which I did, but I ended up actually turning it down. And once I turned it down, I stopped getting the feedback, the humming, and I get great sound now. So if you go this route, you need, if you find the bezel from somebody, you need the screen, the 8.4. You're gonna need to buy this from somewhere, the climate switch with the auto control button on it, and then you need an RB5 with navigation, if that's what you're looking for. I've seen guys that didn't switch to RB5, they didn't care for the navigation, and so they just wanted the 8.4 screen just because, you know, long story short, it looks better. But I wanted navigation. I don't use it as often as I probably thought I was going to, because I still like having the Waze and all that stuff. I like being notified. You know, if somebody see the police and they can notify me before I get there, that's better for me. You do have options where you can connect your phone to the screen using aftermarket applications and Android Auto and all that stuff, but I guess it really just depends on the type of driver that you are. So if you got questions about that, just send me a message, or leave a comment, and I try to help you guys, try to match what it is you're trying to complete. So besides that, I'm getting really good sound. As you can see, everything is working. All my buttons are working. And one thing to keep in mind, if you have a Pursuit, when you get the new bezel, because you have your gear shift up here, you're going to have to trim this a little bit so that you can place the vehicle back in park. If you don't trim that, then the vehicle will not go all the way seated to the park position, and you're going to have a little bit of trouble. I just took my Dremel, trimmed a little piece off of it, and I'm good to go. Besides that, everything works, as you can see. And I'll go ahead and put some music together for the next video so that you can see what the DSP speakers sound like, how much power I'm actually getting from that small inline amplifier that's behind my radio. I will leave in the description what wires I tapped into, what particular color they were, how I did it, what kind of fuses I used, that kind of thing. And so that you guys can go ahead and do the swap if that's what you're looking into. Now, I could have did the Metro system, but I heard too many negative reviews about it, where people were having buttons that weren't working on that system, and you got to spend $400 basically on the Metro just for the system. So you have to switch out your climate, your climate control to install the Metro. Then you got to buy the radio after that. If you're going to spend $1,200, you might as well get the infotainment system from I think it's like infotainment.com or something, and then just connect that one. And well, not really, because in reality with the aftermarket Pioneer or something like that, you get far more control immediately. But it just depends on what you want to do. If you got any questions or anything like that, just shoot me a message or leave me a comment, and I'll try to help you guys out. Let me know what you think. I had the 4.3 in here. This is a Charger Pursuit. Everything works. Even when I turn on the navigation now, it shows up on this smaller display. It was just basically plug and play, and then whatever features I wanted to add. Also, this car does not have Bluetooth in it, so there's no Bluetooth module, which I'm okay with, because what I ended up doing was just buying a small module that plugs into my auxiliary port, and then it plugs, the charging cable plugs into the USB. So it runs from my USB, and then it plugs into my auxiliary port, and it already has a microphone on it. I think I paid like maybe, who knows, like $18. I'll figure out what it is. I'll leave it in the description. And with that, I can answer phone calls, I can stream my music from my phone or tablet, and I got YouTube Premium. So I I can create all my own playlists. If I want to listen to a certain song or a particular song while I'm driving, I can do that. And that system works really well for me. So I didn't have to install the Bluetooth module. I didn't have to go behind the dashboard or take my bottom dash under my steering wheel apart to install the Bluetooth module. I just used the auxiliary and USB port that already came. I relocated it, and now when I answer my phone or something like that, or if I want to use Bluetooth, it goes straight through that module. It automatically connects when I start the car up. So I just open my phone up, throw on YouTube, and boom, I'm listening to music, I'm driving off. But yeah, you got any questions, let me know. If you want to if you need more in-depth knowledge, just let me know, and I'll try to help you guys out.